Okay, so welcome to the session today. We've just had a little bit of a brief discussion about home practice and how that's gone. So for people watching a bit later on, do let me know how you got on, and if you wanted any support with any of the what was it? That rating scale. If you wanted to have a look through that with me, just let me know, because we can I can always go through it with you. It's nice to do it at the beginning to have a contrast at the end for how or if there are any changes with implementing these skills. It can be useful sometimes to know. I like a quiz, so I enjoy those kind of things, but if they're not your thing, you can ignore that one. So setting yourself up for another body scan. So ideally you want to be lying down, but you can do it sitting up, having something just under your head a little bit to tilt it up so it's in the natural alignment of the spine. So not too many pillows that your head's up, but if it's uncomfortable for your head to be back, then just maybe like a folded towel, and then something under your knees, either maybe a rolled up yoga mat or a pillow that can support the lower back. So just setting yourself up to be as comfortable as possible in the posture. And we're going to begin and end with the bells. Now just taking a moment to arrive in your body, noticing the points of contact that you're making with the earth. An invitation to take an internal weather report. How are you right now? Perhaps a seascape, if you prefer the shipping forecast. You calm on the surface, feeling turbulent underneath the waves. You're feeling stormy, cloudy. So just setting yourself up for a body scan, lying down and having a sense of how you are in this moment and what exactly that is, those sensations. What does that feel like? And then narrowing your attention to the breath, finding a point within the breath that's most vivid for you today. And that this can be an anchor for you within the practice. When your mind wanders off and you get lost, because you will, that's what minds do. If the breath doesn't feel like a comfortable place to be, finding somewhere neutral within the body. Somewhere that's not got a story behind it. When your mind has wandered off, you can bring yourself back to, and then return your attention to the part of the body that we're exploring. So perhaps the crown of the forehead, or your left little finger or something, your belly button, somewhere neutral. And just exploring the breath and the body to find that anchor. So when you've drifted off, you can quickly return yourself, gather yourself, and then return to the practice wherever we are. Now I invite you to bring your attention to the body as a whole. Just scanning around. Where do you begin and end? The air that's touching your skin. The points of contact you're making with the earth. And then narrowing your focus and attention to your left leg and all the way down to your left foot. In particular, your left toes. What, if anything, can you notice here? The nail beds, the joints, the ligaments, muscles. Shapes, colours, textures. And then moving your attention away from the toes to the base of the foot, to the heel, the arch, the balls of the feet, the side of the feet. What can you notice, if anything, here? If you can't notice anything, what exactly is that nothingness? Coolness, heavy, tingling, feel warm. Can you feel the fabric of your sock or the contact with the earth? Being playful and curious and interested. Bringing a childlike curiosity to your body as we narrow and widen our attention, very deliberately and specifically. Finding a way of exploring your foot that works for you. It could be a magnifying glass. It could be you imagine colouring yourself in, or painting, or a spotlight, torch beam. Finding a way that works for you, remembering that my guidance is simply that, an invitation to explore your body in a particular way. And if my words don't feel right for you, you need to listen to that. We're learning to listen to our bodies. Pay attention. So moving your attention away from the base of the left foot to the top of the left foot. Where are the edges of the foot, the top of the foot? Is there a clear line for you? The tendons, the ligaments, perhaps the tightness of the skin here. And then moving your attention away from your left foot altogether and bringing it to your left ankle, the joint. There's a lot going on here, but what's standing out for you in this moment? The bone, the joint. And then moving your attention away from the left ankle to the left lower leg between the ankle joint and the knee joint. The shin, the calf. The contact that it's making with the earth. What, if anything, is present for you here? And then from the left lower leg, I invite you to bring your attention to the knee joint, the left knee joint. What's present for you here? What sensations, colours, shapes, textures, temperatures, movements? You may even experience music or taste using your sensations. Going with that childlike curiosity of exploring our experience, being present with our bodies, your left knee. The patella that floats there that we're not born with. The soft back of the knee. Gentle crease. And then moving your attention away from the left knee and bringing the spotlight of your awareness to your left upper leg between the knee joint and the hip joint. What can you notice here? Does it feel light or heavy? Can you feel the fabric of your clothes, the contact with the earth? Where does the back of the thigh become the front of the thigh? Exploring and noticing whatever sensations are present for you as we drop into our bodies, learn its language, and listen and pay attention. Minds wander, that's what they do. They'll go off on their stories, and each time you notice, congratulating yourself and bringing yourself back. Regardless of what happens, if you fall asleep, lose concentration, keep thinking of other things or wanting to be on different parts of the body, allowing your experience to be as it is, to notice these are your experiences in this moment. See if it's possible to be aware of it all, have room for it all, just as you are normally. So we explore the left upper leg. And now widening your attention from the left upper leg to include the left leg as a whole. So from the left thigh to the left knee, the lower leg, the left ankle, and the left foot. Holding it in your mind's eye as a whole, and an invitation to be playful with the breath. Again, you don't have to do this if it doesn't feel right for you. But picturing breathing into the left leg and breathing out of the left leg in whatever analogy or way works for you. Filling that left leg with a cleansing breath. Bringing an open, kind welcome to your experience. And then moving your attention away from the left leg altogether, across to the right hip and down. It's the right thigh to the right knee, right lower leg, your right foot and your right toes. What can you notice here? Maybe narrowing in on the right little toe. What can you notice here? If you're familiar with my guidance in the body scan, I have a particular fondness for our little toes. They go so unnoticed until we bang them into a chair leg or they rub on the inside of a shoe. They're so important for balance. And generally go pretty unnoticed unless they're causing us unpleasant sensations. So an invitation to narrow your focus to your right little toe and what, if anything, you can notice right now. Being an impartial witness to yourself. And then moving your attention away from the right little toe and the toes all together and bringing the spotlight of your awareness to the base of your right foot. So the heel, the arch, the balls of the feet. As we walk, our feet have contact with the earth in different places. What can you notice here now? As they're freed from their responsibility to walk us around or hold us up. And then moving your attention away from the base of the right foot to the top of the right foot. What sensations can you notice? Do you feel cool, warm, tingling, light, heavy, bubbling? What sensations, if any, can you notice here? And now moving your attention away from the right foot to the right ankle. What's most vivid for you here, if anything? If you can't notice anything, what exactly is that nothingness? And then moving your attention away from the right ankle to the right lower leg, between the ankle joint and the knee joint. The calf, the shin. Light, heavy, colours, shapes, textures. What's here for you right now? Having a fresh curiosity as we explore our right lower legs together. And now moving your attention away from the right lower leg and bringing the spotlight of your awareness to your right knee. What's here? The patella that floats there, the soft back of the right knee. If your mind's wandered, congratulating yourself for noticing. That's the key to these mindfulness practices, is the noticing when our mind has wandered and gently and kindly guiding yourself back. Almost like you would a puppy or a small child, and bringing your focus back to the right knee. And then moving your attention away from the right knee altogether to the right upper leg. The thigh, the bone, the muscle, the tendons and ligaments. The contact that you're making with the earth. And if your mind has wandered, or we reach parts of the body that you don't want to explore or rest with, knowing that you've got that anchor in the breath or that neutral part of your body to return to, and bring yourself back to the practice when you're ready. We're learning to take care of ourselves and listen to our needs. So that's really important. So from the right upper leg, I now invite you to hold the right leg in your mind's eye as a whole. So from the thigh to the knee, the shin, the calf, and the right foot. And again, an invitation to be playful with that breath. So breathing into the space of the right leg and breathing out of the space of the right leg, in whatever way works for you. Some people breathe in and out through their toes. Some people breathe into the leg like it's a balloon. Some people picture pouring a jug of air down there. And some people just simply breathe into it and out without too much need for a description. Allowing your experience to be as you would like it to be. And if your mind is wandering a lot in the practice, simply note the thoughts. It's passing events. And guide yourself back to the practice when you're ready. And moving your attention away from the right leg, we're going to explore the trunk area of the body, and we're going to do this in a cross section. So we're going to explore the pelvis and the lower back. Got the sacrum, pelvic girdle, the softness of the belly, the hardness of the bone, the organs that are housed here that need space to move and wiggle about. So perhaps thinking of it below the belly button, around to the back. Lower back can be quite a juicy, uncomfortable bit for many of us. But what can you notice now as we are still with our bodies? Simply observing the sensations that you're noticing in this part of your body. Allowing things to be as they are. You don't need to fix anything. It could be with your experience as it is. Being an impartial witness to yourself. And then moving your attention away from the lower part of the trunk to the middle part of the trunk area. So let's say from the belly button to just below the chest, the side of the waist, the lower rib cage and the middle back. And what, if anything, can you notice here? Shapes, colours, textures. It's noises, movements. I mean, there's no right or wrong way of doing this practice. Simply learning to pay attention, narrow and widen our attention. Every time our mind wanders off, noticing, bringing it back. This is where the neural pathways get developed, in that noticing that you've gone off on a story. And now moving your attention away from the middle trunk area to the upper part of the trunk. So the upper chest, collarbones, shoulder blades, upper back. Again, what's present for you here, right now. Perhaps noticing if you're labeling sensations pleasant or unpleasant. And as best you can, being with your direct experience of the sensations. With that playful, childlike curiosity, the colours, shapes, textures, movements, where they begin and end. They have a temperature, so they feel heavy or light, dense. Noticing the stream of the judging mind, but not getting involved in grasping or pushing away experiences, allowing them to be as they are. And now an invitation to move your awareness to the trunk area of the body as a whole. So from the chest to the belly and the pelvis, the lower back, middle back and upper back. Your seating area as a whole. Picturing being playful with that breath. If that feels right for you. Breathing in and breathing out of each nook and cranny. Perhaps giving a sense of spaciousness. And simply observing the flow of your in-breath and out-breath. That just doesn't feel right for you. Or observing that neutral part of your body that you chose as your anchor at the beginning. And now moving your attention from the trunk area of the body to your arms. And we're going to explore the left arm and right arm together. We're coming down past the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists to your hands. What shape do your hands take? Are they touching the earth or are they touching you? Where does that contact begin and end? Does it have a shape, a colour, a texture, movement? The nail beds, the joints. The palm of your hand, the back of your hand. The differences in temperature. The different sensations. Now moving your attention away from your hands and bringing your awareness to your wrists. What's present here? Now moving your attention away from the wrists and bringing a spotlight of your awareness to your lower arms up to the elbow joint. Shapes, colours, textures, movements, sensations, heaviness, lightness. We spend a lot of our days stimulated by television and telephones and news, and we're narrowing the spotlight of our awareness to the simple experience of being with our bodies that have got so much information for us that often goes so ignored. We're learning to pay attention, listen. And in this instance, our lower arms. And now moving your attention away from the lower arms to the upper arms, between the elbow joint and the shoulder joint. Perhaps noticing the warmth of the armpits, or maybe that feels cool. Maybe your arms are being moved slightly from your side by your rib cage. What sensations, if any, can you notice here? And now an invitation to expand your awareness, to hold in your mind's eye your arms as a whole, and again, be playful with that breath. Breathing into and out of your arms in whatever way or analogy works for you. Or simply being with the breath, or that neutral anchor in the body. And now moving your attention away from your arms and bringing the spotlight of your focus to your neck, the back of your neck, the front of your neck, the sides. Perhaps noticing the passage of the air as it enters and leaves via your throat. Your body knows exactly what to do with it. It sends the air to your lungs, not your belly. And now moving your attention to your scalp. What sensations can you notice here? Tingling, coolness, the contact with the earth or the air. And then moving your attention from the scalp to your face, your forehead, your eyebrows, your eye sockets, cheekbones, your jaw, your tongue in your mouth. Where does it rest? What tastes, if any, can you notice in your mouth? Your lips, do they feel dry, or are they together? Are they open? Can you notice the air on your top lip as you breathe in and out? Your eyes fluttering behind your eyelids, your eyelashes touch your cheeks. What colours can you notice behind your eyelids if they're closed and if your eyes are open? What colours can you see in shapes, textures? Letting go of any ideas of success or failure or doing really well in the practices. Simply observing our direct experiences. And now expanding your awareness from your face, your scalp and your neck, to your arms, your trunk area, your right leg and your left leg, and holding your body and your mind's eye as a whole, and an invitation to be playful with that breath one more time. Breathing into each nook and cranny of you, breathing out. And now narrowing your attention to your breath, the flow of your in-breath and your out-breath. And staying as you are, I'm going to read a poem by a Oriah Mountain dreamer called The Invitation. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you'll risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your sorrow, if you have been opened by life's betrayals, or become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes, without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul, if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else fails. away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moment. So moving and stretching your body in whatever way it's asking to be moved. And we're going to move into a short sharing practice of your experience, your direct experience of that practice. So if you'd like to share, then do put your hand up or put your screen on and put your thumb up. But we can also sit and share the experience in companionable silence. Something quite lovely about that too. I'll stop recording if anybody wants to speak. But for those of you practicing at home, this is an opportunity to journal about your direct experience as well. In fact, I'll pause the recording now. I'm going to ask you to just set yourself up in a comfortable position. You can stay lying down if you're lying down. Just close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. So the in-breath, perhaps noticing the pause, and then the out-breath, and then that pause in between. Very small spaces where we need the breathing in or out, but following the whole flow of your breath. And then expanding your awareness to include all of your body. So again, where do you begin and end? Where is the space around you no longer you? That childlike curiosity of ourselves. I'm just going to read something out. You're walking along a familiar street. You see someone you know on the other side of the street. You smile and wave. The person makes no response. Just doesn't seem to notice. Walks past without any sign of recognizing your existence. So just taking a moment to reflect on your experience of that story. Perhaps having observed how your mind has filled in the gaps. You may visualize, you may seen this, or maybe an old scene has played out. And then just opening your eyes. So this week's session is around exploring living in our heads and how within the body scan we are dropping into our bodies. Put simply, what we're looking at doing is being aware more often. A powerful influence taking us away from being fully present in each moment is our automatic tendency to judge our experience as being not quite right in some way. For example, I'm not good enough. That is not what I expected. And these judgments lead to sequences of thoughts about blame, what needs to be changed, or how things could or should be different. Often these thoughts will take us quite automatically down fairly well-worn paths in our mind. In this way, we may lose awareness of the moment and also the freedom to choose what, if any, action needs to be taken. So by practicing being present, we can regain some of that freedom. So as a first step, we simply acknowledge the actuality of our situation without immediately being hooked into automatic tendencies to judge, fix, or want things to be other than they are. The body scan exercise provides us an opportunity to practice simply bringing an interested and friendly awareness to the way things are in each moment, without having to do anything to change things. There's no goal to be achieved other than to bring awareness to the body in that moment. Achieving some special state of relaxation is not the goal of the exercise. It's to notice, to have space for all of our experiences. So before I move into the home practices, just wondering if anything had, I'm going to pause the recording quickly. Share the home practice, and then if anything has come up that anybody wants to discuss privately or via email, do get in contact. So let's have a look at this week's home practice. Okay, so I'm going to send this in a handout of a pleasant experiences calendar. Oh, there's a spelling mistake there. So be aware of pleasant experiences at the time that they're happening. Use the questions to focus your awareness of the details of it as it's happening, and write it down later using the prompts below. You may prefer to use your own notebook. So these are just a guide. So the day, what was the experience? How did your body feel in detail during the experience? What moods and feelings accompanied the event? And what thoughts accompanied this event? And what thoughts are going through your mind as you write them down? I've used an example of finding £20 in a coat I haven't worn for a while after a hard day. So that would make me smile. I'd feel warm, glory. I feel a warm, glowy feeling. I might feel glorious. My moods would be surprised but content. And then what thoughts accompany this event? What shall I buy? And then moving into, this is me giving an example of my patterns of thinking. So how did I forget that I had that money? Pleased to have found something to think about. But then maybe some critical thoughts would come in and like, that was a bit stupid of me to have done that. I could have done with that last week when we didn't have 20 quid to get that pay for that thing. So sometimes our pleasant experiences can send us off on a different tangent. Room for it all. And then what thoughts are going through your mind as you write it down? Money isn't important, but it felt like a nice surprise. So a hot bath, feeling warm, relief. That's so nice. I don't want to get out. I want to have another bath. I want more of things. Again, that grasping humanness of us. We want to cling on to pleasant experiences. We want them back. And mindfulness is as much about accepting that we can't hold on to those things as much as it is being with the experiences. Okay, so a pleasant day, a pleasant experiences calendar. You don't have to do that every day, but maybe once on Sunday, for example, the night before the next class. Another everyday mindfulness activity. So if you chose something like brushing your teeth this week, choosing another activity that you do every day that you can do using mindful attention. So maybe making a cup of tea or tying a shoelace, or I don't know, something you do every day. If you make beds, making a bed mindfully. And then again, that 10-minute body scan every day. And if you're unable to do those things, making a note of why that's difficult or why that's not possible, or and exploring that, observing if you're not giving yourself the space to do these things, why is that? So that is it for this week. So I'll send
these on as handouts for you to have a look through. So it's a 10-minute body scan, an everyday mindfulness, and then the pleasant experiences calendar as and when. And you're welcome to use the notes or your own diary. So I am going to pause the recording